Mr. Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false. You knew that was false. For anybody who had never heard that before, that question is now planted into them, unqualified representation that Mr. Kohberger stalked one of the witnesses, and that's false. We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Forgot to press the little red button. Always forget the little red button. How are you guys doing? Hope y'all are having a good weekend. I see Boise Bella in here. We haven't seen her in a while. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Man, we've been doing like little house improvements all day, just like little things, you know, like caulking tape here, a little bit of window tint there. I kind of feel a little bit accomplished today, even though we still haven't touched this disgusting yard outside. God, the grass is so tall. It's probably like a good 2 feet now because this soil is just so crazy, and we've barely had a lapse in rain. It's only been like 2 days we haven't had rain, and so the backyard is still just like not. I can't do nothing yet. I can't do anything yet. Hopefully tomorrow. We shall see. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I have already scheduled the live on my second channel for us to start going over the alien disclosure information. I think I'm going to go ahead and schedule it. I know I want to start talking about like the Anunnaki and the Sumerian stuff, but I don't want to come at that and just be like, oh, here, listen to this with me. Like, I want to actually come at that the way that I would like this kind of deep dive type situation. So for now, because I just did like a third release of the UFO stuff, I am going to go ahead and schedule a live every Sunday morning at 8:45 to like 10:45. We'll hang out for like 2 hours, drink coffee, and look at the files that got released on this. What is it? Some Department of War, UFO, I don't know, some website thing that they're dropping information. And we're going to start going through those. We're going to start looking through those because I haven't had the chance to, and I really, really want to. And I'd rather do it where I can like kind of geek out about it because the alien stuff is interesting as shit to me. So I'll get the link and I'll drop it in the chat here really soon. I don't really think there's anything else. No, I don't think there's anything else. Nothing that I can think of. Not when it comes to like anything that we need to like update the channel on. You guys pretty much know everything about like the FOIAs that we're waiting on, the deposits that have been paid. I don't really think there's anything else. Besides, like, we've got documents we still have to go over, you know, like we got extra documents. Okay. This document that we're going to go over is not going to be unfamiliar to everyone. Not that we've seen this document before, but we've seen like this subject before. Okay. It's like all the electronic devices, the accounts, basically like everything, not really everything, because they say that it's not technically everything, but it's the majority of like the accounts and the electronic type digital things that were going to be submitted. Now we know that when they started going through the motions in limine and started doing like the self-authentication of record stuff, that a lot of stuff got removed. And all of that happened more towards the plea deal when we finally got orders on all that stuff. So this is a document that was released January 7th, I believe, 2025. Oh, excuse me. 2025. And it has stuff from everyone, including Jack Showalter. That's what the thumbnail is, the way the thumbnail is, because I don't understand why in big old 2025, we have a document being submitted to the court and it has information about Jack freaking Showalter. What does it matter if they claim that he doesn't have anything to do with anything? Same thing when it comes to like Jack Decor. Why are we submitting this information if y'all don't think that it's necessary? What's the point? In big old 2025. It's the same questions I'm going to have basically tomorrow when we do go over chapter 9 again, because we have gone over chapter 9's little like timeline in the Broken Plea book before when it came out as like an attachment to the audio book. But I've gone in and I've like color coded things. One of my markers ran out. Okay, so there's like multiple colors, but the important thing is that all the yellow stuff is things that I could technically call like an official timeline because it's coming from like cell phone analytics, like the cell phone reports. It's coming from stuff where there's a timestamp, some sort of digital timestamp. Other stuff, when they're like throwing stuff in that they got from an interview, that's like hearsay stuff. That's like he said, she said. I don't really care too much about that. We were going to go over it, but it needed to be definitely separated. And I also have a lot of questions about just how ridiculously immature the timeline looks. Because it's like, okay, they're talking about how, like, let's say SV1 is on a certain road at a certain time. But instead of saying that it came from that camera footage, they're like Payne's report. Why are we giving a shit what Payne wrote in his report when you have the actual electronic data that you can just say, that's your reference point? Why are we citing Payne, the human that can get it wrong, instead of citing the electronic source you can actually use as the proof itself? I don't understand that. So that's going to be a lot of that rant tomorrow, because it really got on my nerves even more going through it today. I was like, why is this the way that they've cited this? I could never write a paper or try to do anything and cite my sources the way that these are cited and be taken seriously. I just really don't understand it at all. Thank you so much for the $9.99 stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull this document up. Now, this again is in the Google Drive. I have gone in as much as I don't think I've missed anything so far when it comes to the newly released documents, like the newly unsealed documentation. I think I've gotten all of it put over into the Google Drive. Pretty positive anyway. I'm going to actually open mine from the Google Drive. Let me open this so that you guys can see, and then I'll drop that link too. There are some Google coordinates in this document, so we will be pulling up the map and taking a look at that too. I know, like, oh my God, so many things like in my head. I cannot wait to sit down and talk about that stuff with you guys, because it is, to me, it's like so important, because it really could answer so many questions when it comes to our beginnings and the truth of things and like the multi-layers of things. And like I said before, I never really got excited about like a creator or like a God thing or like a religious thing until I really started looking into the ancient alien and the Anunnaki stuff, because there's so much reference to the stuff in the Bible when it comes to the stories. It's just like the names change. It's literally it's like humanity's big book of telephone, and people have just tried their best to like write it down as best as they could. And then here we come trying to figure things out, and we finally have technology to sort of like translate things. And I just think that eventually, maybe we'll finally get the right translation to everything. Right now, it's everyone just doing their damn best. That's the best that I can really come up with. So we're definitely going to go into all of this stuff. We're definitely going to be going into all of this very, 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 very soon here. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm trying to fix this to where you guys can see this bigger. Okay. Let me give you guys, well, let me stop sharing it again, because when I go to share this, sometimes it pops up a box that has everyone's email addresses in it, and I don't know why it does that. It's not supposed to do that. Okay. All right, so there is the Google Drive. In case you can't access the Idaho Case of Interest website, because it also is there. This will be here under, nope, incorrect. It'll be under oral court records. This is the wrong one. Okay, so what you'll see also, I did notice that some people were getting a little bit confused about this the other day. You'll see too, for Ada County 2025, this is after the plea, and I just haven't gotten around to putting anything in it yet. And this one is before the plea, which is the documents that we're in right now. Now, I have gone in and done like all of 2022, and I stopped in 2023. So I'm still just like in the process of moving stuff over. You know what I mean? Like, it'll eventually all be there. Hopefully within the next like few weeks, I can sit down and get everything moved over so that we can just start with 2020. See, I have everything pretty much that's been released so far in 2026. Isn't that insane how little has released in 2026, but we still have all of this crazy shit happening? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Okay. Is this the right one? All right. Yeah. So this one is 1725, Lawrence Mowry, amended expert disclosure S10 list of all devices is how they have it listed in here. And I'll put this right here. This is a direct link to the document itself right here. There's this one right here. So actually, can I put this up right here? I like never get to put this here. Can I put this here today? Oh, I can put this here today. Okay. Okay. All right. So again, for a lot of you guys, this isn't going to be like something different. For a lot of you, you guys have seen this already. And I lied. I said I was going to use it from the Google Drive, but I'm not. I forgot until just now that I had already gone in and pre-highlighted some things because I wanted to separate it out. So I'm going to use this one, but the original without all of the highlights and stuff on it is in the Google Drive, or it's over there on the whatchamadoodler, the court, whatever you call it. You know what I mean? The case of interest website, this thing right here. Right here. You just click over here on 2025 and then scroll. Now, I did get a comment yesterday saying something about how like there was a third document unsealing that had less information in it than the first two. Was like the wording that the person put in the comment. I've never seen it say unknown before for a date. That's crazy. But I went on here like as soon as I read that, and I didn't notice it had any other like new markings next to it. And I checked 2024 as well. And you know, I went and checked Sarah on Twitter to see if she had anything, because if I can't find it and it's there, then Sarah's going to know where it's at. And I don't see anything still. So I don't know if they were just mistaken or if I'm missing something or like what's going on, but I did verify at least what I could see, that we're still on like the documents that were just the most recently unsealed. Okay. This says here, see how good this is over here. Okay, I can make this bigger for y'all. I can still make it bigger for y'all. And then scooch it. And then move my face. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is the amended Exhibit S10 from Lawrence Mallory. As you guys know, Lawrence Mallory works for the Moscow Police Department. He claims to be the electronic, technical, whatever dude. Truth be told, going through all of the documents and all of the reports he has written on how he handled the 1112 King Road footage. Far from any sort of expert, but let's just go ahead and get into this document. The state has disclosed Lawrence Mallory, forensic detective for the Moscow Police Department, in this supplemental discovery response. It is anticipated the state will call Detective Mallory to testify generally as an expert in the field of digital forensics, in addition to testifying in areas not requiring special expertise, such as search warrant applications, etc. They don't need special expertise, but y'all literally had the FBI sitting there and writing them for you because y'all were incapable. Because that's what happened. They were running to the feds to get answers on how to do everything, including how to write the search warrant. Okay. This notice serves to supplement the information in Detective Mallory's reports by summarizing areas of anticipated testimony, but does not repeat the specific findings that are detailed in his report. In addition to this summary, Detective Mallory may testify to any of the subjects identified in his reports and may identify and testify to chain of custody, extractions, electronic data, files, and location records identified in the materials made available to the defendant. Based upon Detective Mallory's expertise and training, which is detailed in his curriculum vitae attached as Exhibit S10A, not here, we're not going to go over it. We know all about his boo-boo. Detective Mallory will discuss extraction, imaging, examination, processing, verification, transportation, and chain of custody. It is anticipated he would testify in the following areas. Boy, oh boy, knowing what we know now about the 1112 King Road cameras, I would love to go to trial just to listen to Lawrence Mallory on the stand try to explain the bullshit. Just that alone would be worth it. Because shit. So I only have like a few days left to file the appeal. So I'm going to be working on that a lot. Like I have been like getting stuff together and getting like a timeline of stuff together, but I'm going to be trying to get that in by Monday at the latest on the 15th. And we'll see what happens. But just so you guys are aware, not only do we have, because I mean, most of you guys know this already, you know, we don't have just like the incompetence of Lawrence Mallory here. It took him 6 days to get the footage because he didn't know shit about shit and made things more complicated than they need to be. And at the end of the day, he did what everybody else and their mama did and used the username and password. The username and the password. It took him 6 days to finally get the 11/12 footage. 6 days. In those 6 days, several people logged in, did who freaking knows what, and that includes Jack Jacor, who had that footage by that night, who gave it to the Goncalveses as soon as he had it. And the only way that you're giving that to the Goncalveses, and the only way that you have it, is you have the username and the password, and then you've passed it on to the Goncalveses. So there's no telling what was done, because again, this isn't like you're giving someone like a viewable only thing. Like when it comes to like the Google Drive, I don't let y'all edit. Y'all are viewers. I don't let y'all go in and make any edits to the Google Drive because I have it in there the way that it needs to be in there. And I don't need somebody going in there and being cray-cray. So y'all are viewers and viewers only. When you are using a username and password, that changes. If you were me, you could make all the edits. It's no different than me handing my username and password to Connor or to Christy or to someone else to help me organize or do anything else. It's no different. You can make administrative changes. So why we don't see, again, search warrants for the Home Nest Pro, whatever the frick that thing was, why we don't see warrants for everyone who logged in, the IP addresses for everyone that logged in for that time period and everyone else afterwards that could have gone in there and manipulated it, I don't understand. Because the second I got a call from somebody who's saying that I was interrupting their viewing little feed, oh, I'd be filing a search warrant for everybody who logged into that system. But instead, they just collected their video and moved on like it didn't even matter. Like it did not even matter. I have never in my life seen something so ridiculous. And that's just one thing. That's just one thing with multiple facets of bullshit connected to it. One thing. And that's everything in this case. Multiple facets of bullshit for every little thing. I still just don't understand. It still is so flabbergasting to me. Actually, you know what? I really kind of am wondering if there's a possibility that they were going to try to maybe remove it. And hear me out. I was going to do a video about this just to, like, if I was right, okay? Because I don't know if I'm accurate or not. But there's another document, like, in all of this. That's why I haven't said anything yet, but this is just, like, made it come to my mind. There's another document in here that goes through, like, all of the footages and stuff, like where the car was. I don't know if it's the FBI document or not. Like, I'll put a video out when I have all of it together. But this is just what, like, I was looking and reviewing at, like, yesterday. They have 1330 Linda Lane and 1320 Linda Lane, and then, like, it starts talking about all this other footage and doesn't mention 1112 whatsoever on this little list. I don't really quite understand why, because it should have been on there. The self-authenticating records. The self-authenticating records. So maybe they didn't need it, but to me, it's like the same process of how they got Linda Lane, because they went and actually got Linda Lane from the owner of the apartment buildings. Like, whatever system he had, they went and did their thing to get that footage from him. The same process was done when they went to 1112. It all had to do with the owner being involved, giving them access, blah, blah, blah. So how come in the self-authenticating records, it has Linda Lane and it doesn't have King Road? I don't know why. And I just noticed that, like, the other day, a couple days ago. I don't know if it means anything or not. I don't know if they're holding 1112 to, like, a different, like, label on its own, like if it's just like its whole entity on its own, so it's not included in the self-authenticating records. But you'd think that if Linda Lane was in there, then King Road would be in there, because this, like, you know what I mean? Like, the concept of it, everything about it's the same. You know? So I don't know. I guess we'll never know because they screwed up everything. But I did notice that. And I felt that was kind of strange. I feel like that was kind of strange. Okay. So then they wanted the 1122 King Road router interrogation and records associated, including but not limited to charter communications account information. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, there was some sort of issue with charter communications, and there was like a few days worth of time. I want to say like, was it like right before? A couple days before, maybe? Where they didn't have like information because there was some sort of problem. And actually, if you go back into the search warrants and like look at the responses, you'll see that for a lot of the search warrants, there were like technical problems. And not just like social media, but like obviously like internet and different things. There was a lot of technical issues that stopped like certain data sets from being able to, be retrieved. Which I found was just weird. I don't even know. Here's the IP address. I'm going to assume that this is 1122 King Road's router IP. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. And then private networks. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that they have actual private networks that they found working around 1122 or around Bryan Kohberger that he was going to be testifying to, or what that is. Because it doesn't seem very specific. It seems kind of generic, right? So then we have these MacBook Airs. I'm going to assume that these were their school computers. But if that's the case, I'm really curious as to where Ethan's is, because I don't think that they have one for Ethan on here, like a MacBook for Ethan. But they seem, I'm just saying that they seem like they were like maybe the college computers, because they're all MacBook Air and then like a whatever this number is, which it might be like the serial or like the model, like 1932. It seems like Kaylee and Maddie have the same kind, and then Xana has a 2179, and then Dylan has a 1466. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're school assigned, but them all having the exact same brand of computer is interesting. But then Maddie also had a Dell Latitude. And then Kaylee also had the Dell Precision that seems to me like it was the one that she had from her job. So she most likely had like an assigned one, if that's an assigned one. And then she had this assigned one for work purposes. Then we have the iPad of Bethany, and the iPhone belonging to Dylan, and then the iPhone belonging to Bethany. And then I don't know why when I highlighted this, it did that like that. That's kind of weird. Why would it do it like that? That's so random that it would do it like that. Is it going to let me fix it? It won't even let me like get rid of it and fix it. Okay, anyway, the iPhone belonging to Ethan. And remember, when we look at the photographs, what do we notice? We notice that the dark colored phone of Ethan's is on the floor with a big chip in the top corner, missing next to Xana. And Xana's phone that has a whitish case on it that says kind like Kate, that it was brought to my attention that Xana had actually donated to a GoFundMe when this girl named Kate passed away. So then we made a donation on behalf of the channel because it was something that, just came full circle, came to our attention. So that just concreted, besides like photos of them holding their phones and stuff. Like I think there's the ones in particular where they're like brushing their teeth in the mirror and you can see like the phone in her hand. There's also one where she's like the video on TikTok where they're like all being each other and Xana's holding her phone. But we noticed that the phones were in the wrong positions. And I really just still can't quite understand that, other than like somebody really doesn't know who's who and what's what. And it was done hastily. Because at first, when we had the original set of self-authenticating records, they told us in the documents, and most of you guys remember this, they told us in the documents that they didn't have Xana's DoorDash information. And this is still something I need to do like a separate video on because I still don't understand this, and I really need them to clarify this. The damn document said they did not have Xana's information. It was literally in the documentation, Lucy Morningstar brought it to our attention that on the bottom, when it came to the actual like DoorDash certificate, that it wasn't signed by the person either. So it was like information that was in there, but they hadn't actually finalized it. And there was like even something in the notice about how they were still working on getting it authenticated. So then we were like, okay, it must have been Ethan's DoorDash, because in this document drop where they're telling us this exact wording, they're also giving us this receipt. That's where we see the geolocation, where we dropped the GPS coordinates and it was like at the back door of where King Road used to be. That receipt. So then when the information came out and it's Xana's DoorDash information and it's a 215 order, I'm like, okay, then why do we have a receipt that's apparently coming from Ethan's account that has this exact same delivery on it? In the documents where you're telling us you do not have Xana's, where you're telling us you're still trying to authenticate the DoorDash information, you're still giving us a receipt with a 359 drop off, and you're still giving us something that shows the address to the house. You're still giving us the information while telling us that you don't have the information. And I don't really quite get that. And that stays on in this because they say that they want everyone's DoorDash information. Well, they also have Molly's name in there, but I need clarification on that. Because it went like that for months. So then when we saw the photos before we got the DoorDash information, but when we saw the photos and we saw that the phones were switched, at first I was like, okay, well, we only have Ethan's receipt. They're saying they don't have Xana's stuff. So maybe she just used her boyfriend's DoorDash account and maybe he was scrolling on her phone so she could watch where the food was because the food was late. And so she was like having the phone in her hand so she could maybe try to contact the person, blah, blah, blah. But that's not really at all like how things seem to have gone, especially since, let's be serious, that's an automated message. Because Home Shake was walking around the neighborhood for so long and the system picks up on you lagging, slacking, all the things. I still don't really quite understand either why they haven't let us have the DoorDash photo. Like, why is that so secretive that you can't let us have it? Or like all the stuff that's getting unsealed now, it's still all of the stupid shit about like the Amazon click activity. I don't give a shit about your click activity. Give us the receipt. Give us the order details for the damn purchase. Why do we need to know about what he was clickety on? Just give us the receipt. See how they make it really just like complicated? For nothing? Complicated for nothing? So then they wanted, again, in big old 2025, iPhone information belonging to Eric Gower. Now, the only reason why I think this is a little redundant is because they have Kaylee's information. Because even if they can't get into her phone, they still have her phone logs, like her actual phone logs that her family had access to. Because we know they couldn't unlock her phone. At least up until like, what was it, May or June, like right before the plea. The document showed that they could not get into Kaylee's phone. Yeah. But they still had phone records. So when it came to the text messages, all they needed was Kaylee's, if that's the only thing that they needed Eric Gower's information for. All they needed was Kaylee's. So why are we putting Eric Gower's information in with this? Same thing right here. Like, I know that it says that it was removed because it doesn't exist. But why did they need Jack Showalter's iPhone information in January of 2025? You're getting ready for trial for the one defendant, for the one suspect. You're not claiming that anyone else had anything else to do with anything. And if Jack Showalter, like, if they just left him at the grub truck and everything that you need from him is on Corner Club camera, and then they leave him after getting a hold of Eric Gower and getting picked up, then what do you need his information for? That's also not the only piece of him. They also have him down here for his AT&T records. So I don't really quite get it. Like, again, in the timeline they put together, why is there all this information about Connor Chestnut and Jack Showalter and Cole Berenberg? Like, what is the point of having them in your November 2023 after the preliminary has already been canceled timeline if you're supposed to be focusing on the person that you're trying to convict? There's literally more information in that timeline about people that they claim have literally zero, nothing at all to do with this case than there is about Kohberger. Like, it's actually disturbing if you go back and look at it. Now, and mind you, that timeline's not even the entire thing. But it's really disturbing to think that they have more information on people that they're claiming Ann Taylor is way out of line for even having questions about. Okay? They got more information about those people in their official timeline from back in November of 2023 than they do about the freaking defendant. That's crazy. That's like actually crazy. Actually crazy. So then, of course, we have Kaylee and Maddie and Xana's phones as well. Also, Emily Allant's phone, which again, why? If you have Dylan's and the only thing that you need is the timestamp that Dylan called Emily to come over there, because that's when other people come on scene, and you have text messages and you can have like the downloads of the text messages and the phone logs and all the other things, why do you need Emily Allant's actual phone data? But remember, in the November 2023 timeline, they found it relevant to place in there that she had sent Xana $14 at 3:51 in the morning at the same time as Dylan's adding a contact to her phone somehow, and Molly is walking down the street. Even though she likes to ignore that that's even a thing. She literally is denying that she did that. That's crazy. So, of course, Jack Takor. I guess for Jack, I can honestly see why. Not remembering an entire 17-minute phone call, but then asking if there's audio is hella suspicious. Hella suspicious. You're obviously worried that what you said is on record, and you're probably worried because what you said probably sounds really bad for the situation you're being interviewed for. I don't see any other reason for his instant reaction after like a mass hesitation of like, oh shit. Was it recorded? That's hella sketchy. That's hella sketchy. Amazon accounts associated with the defendant. I wasn't aware that there was more than one account. And I mean, I guess I could have missed something. I will say that when you are a college student, you can get an Amazon account for like pennies with your school ID. So there is a possibility that maybe he had one, like a separate one. But we know that when it came to like what they were trying to place into evidence, that it was supposed to be the family Amazon account that like the purchases were all done from. So I don't know. Maybe they were just going to show that he had more than one, but they were only going to show information from one. I don't know, but it is plural right there for some reason. For some reason. So then the Apple iCloud accounts belonging to the defendant, Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen, Jack Takor, Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana, which that makes sense to me. AT&T records associated with the defendant, Jack Showalter, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogen. Something else I don't really quite get here, and maybe it's just for like court purposes. Is this the defense document? Hold on. I honestly can't tell. Is this a defense document? Let me go to the thing. I'm only even saying anything because I'm noticing that they're not using his name. So I'm guessing this is a state document. I feel like if this was a defense document, they'd be using Bryan's name. And they're not. They're just constantly defendant, which I just find interesting for it being the state. Especially since they want us to believe, their story so bad. So then we have the DoorDash records associated, and see, they have both of them for both Ethan and Xana, and then of course also for Molly McMichaels. Now, when it also comes to Molly down here, they do have one phone number associated with Molly. So I guess I would kind of like take away the possibility of her having a secondary device, unless they're really just not giving a shit that she's using a secondary device and they only have the one in there. I don't know. I just know that there's just really a lot of just like sketchy shit when it comes to that DoorDash. There's just a lot of unanswered, make no sense, crazy stuff that came along with that DoorDash. So I really don't know what to think of it. She lies about being contacted. She makes a crazy ass story. She's all over the damn place. She's taken 2 hours to make a delivery. She's carrying her dog all over the place. She's walking all over the place. She's just everywhere. And then to lie. You get arrested and you lie, saying that you park right next to him and Bill Thompson's my friend and blah, 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 blah. Like everything about Molly is bullshit. And then you can't tell me that by November 17th, when Dylan is not supposed to even have any clue that Molly exists, when the cops at this point don't know who the frick Molly is, Dylan is telling the cops that she is having dreams of a woman with a big nose and all black coming to the house, but she's super nice. She's there to do some stupid shit. She's there to prank people, but then she just ends up being like super nice. Well, Molly has a big nose for a woman. Okay? She does. Facts are facts. She does. She was there that night in dark clothing. You can see it on the camera. Dark clothing. 3:51 while you're awake, and you're trying to tell me that you didn't have some sort of interaction with this woman? You're making her a part of your story by physically describing her. Before the cops know she exists, before anyone knows anything on the 17th. And I'm supposed to believe that there's no correlation with that. I just don't see that being a possibility of there being no correlation with that. Especially given things happened in threes at 3:51. We have the contact being added. We see Molly on the damn 1112 camera. And now we have Emily sending Xana $14. All at 3:51 in the morning. You pay attention to things that come in threes. At least I always do. Dropbox accounts associated with the defendant. Dropbox, as far as I'm concerned, is mostly for like documents and like big files. Sort of like the way that the Moscow Police Department drops us information when we do a FOIA, and what they use is called Zen2. Same kind of thing. Google Gmail accounts belonging to the defendant and Kaylee. So did like nobody else have Gmail accounts? Gmail is one of the most common ones. So for it just being Bryan's and Kaylee's, that's crazy to me. Okay, so I am going to like do this off to the side this way so that I can see the screen, because now we are at the whatever you call it, the geolocation points. Now I cannot, even though this is like it's literally like a PDF document, I cannot copy and paste the points in. So I'm going to type them in and then I will show you the screen. I don't know if these are the same ones from interesting. The whatchamacallit DoorDash receipt we had earlier. So this is the first one. And it's literally on the corner as Walenta turns into Taylor. It is this one right here. This 46.722462 negative 117.012067 right here. And that's right here. Interesting. Because here's where the house was. Okay. Let me separate this again. And what's the next one? Pull this back out. Okay, so this next one is 46.721613 negative 117. There's no point, but we know it belongs there. 010266. Move this back. Okay, so now it is the area behind the parking lot. See, because here's where 1122 was. This is the back parking lot area that they want us to believe he was parked in, but that we also are told that Molly parked in before she walked down. But it's here. like just this backyard area. I wonder what these location points are for. Because it sure doesn't say. Okay, we've done this one. So now we're on point number 3. Let me move this again so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so now this next one is 46.722572 and negative 117. They're all going to be the same location area, it seems like. Point. They're forgetting the points there too. Okay, yeah, this one's completely different too. Now this one is at the very corner of Linda Lane and Taylor. Right here on the corner. Very specific. So interesting. So we've got this spot, and then we have right here, and then we have right here. So let's see what this last one is. Oh, ear pain. Okay, let's see. 46.721584. Negative 117.005. Behind 1320. Oh shit, hold on. Back here behind 1320. So here, can you all see that? Okay, yeah. So right here on this corner, right here on this corner, down here in this little field, and then back here right behind these apartments. This is where one of the cameras was. I would love to know what the hell that even could be. Like, what's the point of those? Is it just like, were they trying to just find phones that they claim were like in this very specific area? Y'all can't see it, but I took a screenshot because I'm trying to make markings on it. So right here and right here, right here. See if I can share this. Yeah. Oh shit. Holy crap, Miller time. 50 gifted memberships. That's a crazy number, bro. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Holy crap. So many freaking memberships. That is awesome. Thank you. Congratulations to those who got those. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now, just so you guys know, if it doesn't show that like people grab them like in the chat, because you know how it's like random if you have your gifts turned on, I have noticed that people that come in and watch the videos afterwards will comment down in the comments, oh my god, thank you so much for the membership. I wasn't even in the live. So it definitely does do like a little rollover. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. That's cray, bro. Thank you. That is so nice. That is so nice. But yeah, I don't know. These location points, I really would like to know some more about. Like I said, I don't know if they think that maybe that's the location bubble that they were trying to find phone information in or not. Right? Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That it's like the little bubble, like the little circumference that they're using, right? Like the perimeter. Okay. That would make the most sense for that. For it to be like a perimeter thing. Mandy, if you've had an account since what was it? What was it, Lady Di? 2014 or 2012? If you've had a YouTube just account, creator or viewer, it doesn't matter. If you've had the account that you're using since 2012 or before, it's either 2012 or 2014 or before, one of those 2 years, then you're technically, and this is so stupid, this is so asininely backwards, you're technically considered a legacy account, and legacy accounts are not allowed to receive gifted memberships. So the longer you've been with YouTube, the less you're allowed to have. That's so stupid. Isn't it so dumb? It's the freaking opposite of what it should be. You'll be green. And see, it's random. So like if your account is older, or if you don't have like gift memberships turned on, and see, I don't have the option, so I don't even know what it looks like. Somebody that knows how to turn it on, if you guys maybe want to just like drop how to do that in the chat for people who don't know. Isn't that so stupid? I know, it's so stupid. If anybody who has, right, start a new one. Because when I first started this and I was like going into people's chats and stuff, and people would gift memberships, I was like, that's crazy. Like it's never attaching to it. And it took like a couple people were telling me. A couple people were telling me that it was, yeah, see, like the longer that you have an account with YouTube, the less likely that it cuts it off. It cuts it off. Plus, you also have to look and make sure that you have it turned on. So if you don't have a legacy account and you can actually get the gifted memberships, you can go in and turn it on. But again, like, I don't know where it's at. Oh my God, he just did it again. Thank you so much. Oh my God, stop doing that. Like, seriously. Stop. Stop. That's crazy. Thank you so much. That's a lot, bro. That's 100 memberships. That's a lot. Yes, he dropped 50 more. That's crazy. Don't do that. That's a lot. That's wild. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to get like all of the instructions together, and I'll put something up so that like you guys that can know how to go in there and turn that on, because a lot of people don't even know you have to do that. That's awesome, Miller Time. Thank you so much. Rain and green. I know, that's so crazy. Holy Hannah, 100. I know, that's wild. Thank you so much, broskies. Hey, Miss Mojo Rising, how you doing? Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Thank you. Mighty Morphin Miller Time. I love me some Power Rangers. I do. I know, that's crazy. All right, thank you so much. Wild. That's crazy. That's wild. I love it. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. It's very sweet. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so now we have match Tinder accounts belonging to the defendants, Kaylee and Maddie. Now, we do know that Madison's has not been active, like it still existed, but she apparently hadn't been on it. There wasn't anything on there, which we sort of figured because she was in a relationship. Now, Kaylee was single. Obviously, she was dating around. I don't know if she was meeting guys on Tinder or if she was like meeting guys through school, because it sounds like the couple of guys that she was sort of seeing were definitely related to people that she knew from that, like from the school, the university area. So, I mean, I don't know, but we also know that there is a lady, and this is one of the reports that I would really love to get. This is one of them. It's not like it's not anything that's like on the top of the list, but you know, just one of those things. She had called and given them some information on a guy that she matched with because he was saying apparently some like really off the wall stuff, some really disturbing things. I would love to get those files so that I could see, like, did you at least check this guy's alibi, or did you just get this information about this creepy guy that like made this woman really uncomfortable and then just put it off to, you know, off on a shelf the way that you did everything else? You know? Because sometimes through investigations, other crimes get, you know, uncovered. So if they're just throwing everything away when these people are like super creepy and people are calling in tips about them, that's going to be really disheartening. Because you just never know. Because you just never know, you know? You just never know. The meta accounts belonging to Bethany, Dylan, Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Jack, and Kaylee. Let's see. Microsoft One accounts for Bryan. Reddit accounts for Bryan and Kaylee. You can tell that I've been listening to a lot of Gypsy Rose shit. Oh my God, over the past couple of days, it's been crazy. Crying Ryan. Boo-hoo. Beard is sexy bullshit. Oh my God, it's been so much. It's been so much. Oh my God. Oh, I missed something else over here. Thank you for being a member for 4 months, Dinjay. Thank you for being here. Hey, 1985. How you doing? How you doing? 6 months. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you guys, for coming in here and spending some time with me this afternoon so we can go over this. We're going to try to do a lot over over like the next week or so we can hopefully get caught up. I have 3 lives planned tomorrow. 1 for aliens and then 2 for this stuff. So let's hope that I can keep to that before Monday starts and everything goes back to boo-boo. Okay. Strava account belonging to Bryan. We have gone over some of that information before. There is something I had found, and I guess I'll just say it in case you guys have seen it too, so I can know if I'm like losing my mind or not. So let me look over here for a second. When it comes to the Strava account, okay, that's like an exercise app, right? And there was information. It was public. We saw where Bryan had like gone on a run or something. It was like in August, I think it was. Anybody else over on Twitter? Okay, so it could be something people talked about on Facebook too. It wouldn't honestly surprise me if it was something over on Facebook too. But do you guys hear anything about JLR creating some fake Strava information for Kohberger? Like a few weeks ago, I guess. Somebody said something on Twitter and there was like a screenshot. I have it saved. I have it bookmarked. It's just not really worth my time to go in there right now. I'm just curious as to if like anyone else noticed that or maybe seen it. I don't know, but it really wouldn't surprise me because, JLR is a little bit ridiculous. Thanks for the 199 wit. Pops on scroll, Christy. Harsh's video was great. I haven't got the chance to like watch the whole thing. I was told by Danny that Harsh had done a video on it. I watched like a few minutes of it, then I had to get outside. Christy just pissed me off. It's like I've only really formally addressed them twice. I've only actually formally addressed them twice. Actually. And that was number 2. Like, you're not going to keep running your mouth, ma'am, especially whenever you're making no sense. Especially when you think this is all about you. This is not my story. This is not weirdo attorney's story or oxygen deprived chick's story or anybody else's story. It's not their facts. It's not mine to get right or wrong. It's mine to try to talk about in as much purity and truth to the fact as I possibly can. They can get mad all they want to about the opinions that we have here. But the opinions that we have here are based on reality. We don't live in some fantasy world. This isn't a movie, And it's funny how they keep pretending like everything is a movie while trying to preach to us how it's not a movie. Well, read the damn documents, Christy. Take an hour out of your day and sit down and plug in that little USB and actually read the documents in your daughter's case before you come out here trying to scold anybody about anything. She is so not versed in anything happening here. And I know that they've gone on other interviews and they've done a lot of all of this. And like I said in that damn comment, I don't give a single shit about these people in their everyday life. I don't. They're liars. What do I look like caring about what they're doing every day? There's way more important things to care about. And I don't really care that they don't care, that I don't like them. They've known that for years. This is nothing new. They blocked me before and then unblocked me. And it takes, some steps to go in on Facebook and unblock somebody. They only blocked me again after I went over to their page and finally said something because I had never commented. I didn't have a reason to. I don't care. No reason to. I finally said something because I was tired of them lying and said, block me and keep me blocked this time. And I honestly haven't even checked to see if I'm still blocked because I don't care. But you're not going to run your mouth about shit you don't know about. See, we run our mouths about things that we actually hear from them out of their own mouths, stuff coming from their own camp, stuff coming from documents that they don't want you to read. What grieving family who lost their child tells the entire world that they begged to have their backs? Don't read the documents. What? You weird, bro. You weird. I'm just tired of them. I'm beyond tired of them. Because like I said, and like you all know, this isn't just about Kaylee. They have come out here and said stuff that has messed up Maddie's storyline, Xana and Ethan's storyline, and they don't care. That's the appalling part. That's the audacity must be on sale part, because they don't care. They just sit there and they just act like none of it's happening, like we're just making shit up while they continue to lie. The most insane thing to me was Christy telling Chris Hansen they hadn't seen the 11/12 footage, knowing damn well Steve has told us, News Nation, and now we have Jack Ducour's interview proving that they all had that shit by the night of the 13th. And she had the audacity 3.5 years later to lie and say they hadn't seen it. The craziest thing is that all of this shit has receipts. All of it. Whether it be something that they posted as a comment, whether it be something they said in an interview, whether it be something that they said on News Nation or on a YouTube channel, it doesn't matter. It's something with a receipt. They are the ones who turned this into like a movie thing, because that seems to be all that they care about, is the attention. And now it really seems that they found a way to just do everything that they had already been failing horribly at doing. Because if you've gone back to like True Crime Designs videos where she's dug into the cloud business crazy shit and all the rest of those shady business handlings that they've had, I think they finally found one that probably is going to work for them. No one's going to think they're doing shady shit with this money. They have hundreds of thousands of people fooled. They're going to probably be able to get away with some stupid shit for a really long time. It's not going to be forever. Eventually it's going to catch up. But I think that they found a way to continue their crazy shit. Why do you think it looks like their veil is thinning? They are not sober in any of the last week and a half of being on camera that they've done. Compare Nancy Grace, Crime Con, and I haven't watched what they did on the interview room. Okay, I haven't. I don't really care to. I really don't care to. But compare the flush on the neck, the flush on the face, the way they're speaking, stepping and trembling and tripping over their words and all over the place. Compare it to like a few months ago. Compare it to a year ago. That's not, something's wrong. And I think that they've just gotten so comfortable with being able to come out and just do whatever they want to do because they've got so many people fooled that they're not being as careful as they were. And if you look back at the history of Kaylee that we do know, not only from her own words, but from her family's own words and her friends' own words, it's not as shiny as they want us to believe. But we all here know that because we all know about Samantha, don't we? Yeah. Christy got a lot of nerve. That's all I'm saying. Christy got a lot of nerve. Hey, JLL, it's good to see you. How you doing? Alf, haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. But now we're going back to what we normally do, which, like I also stated, since she thinks that I just care about their lives so much, 95% of this channel is court documents, hearings, evidence, police reports, forensic documentation, interview reviews. Most of them don't have shit to do with the Goncalveses. Lots of these videos don't have a damn thing to do with Kaylee either. But, you know, they can keep pretending like the world revolves around them, and we'll continue to do what we're doing because we're not delusional. At least the majority of us are not. So it is what it is. And if they want to act that way, I'm not the one they got to answer to. If they really believe the way they got to believe, then one day they're going to meet their daughter face to face and they're going to have to answer to her. If they believe the way they believe, which I highly doubt because they're really hypocritical. And it seems like Steve Jr. and Steve Sr. really like to wear that cross hat for photo ops. I don't know if y'all seen Chronicle of Olivia and Steve Jr.'s little like wedding, whatever the hell's going on. One of you guys sent me something on Facebook about it. And it's like, oh, you know, send something to us from the wedding registry and we'll send you a handwritten note card. And Steve Jr. has got his dad's cross hat on. Everything in this case is crazy. Just the simple fact that those two are engaged. They talked all this shit. They still talk all this shit about people just like Olivia, which is people that Kaylee loved to watch. She found joy and some sort of calm listening to Chronicles of Olivia go over crime cases, digging into crime. But those people, that genre of things that Kaylee loved so much because it's bringing the heat on them for being liars, they trash it. While acting like they actually like Chronicles of Olivia. She's everything that they say every time they're on camera that they detest. You realize that, right? Does she not realize that? Her in-laws talk about how much people like her are disgusting to them every time they go on an interview. I don't understand what's happening. I don't get it. I don't understand. Crazy. Crazy. Let's go ahead and continue. Crazy stuff. Okay. Snapchat accounts belonging to Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, Ethan, Jack, Dylan, Bethany. Now for this bothers me still. Because as most of you guys know, and if you don't, then you'll know tomorrow, in the timeline, when it comes to Snapchat messages, and it comes to like Dylan and a few others really, they're all unknown contents. Contents of message unknown. Contents of message unknown. Namely for Dylan, which I think we've talked about before. So I'd love to know like what they actually have in way of her Snapchat account. Because everything in here, contents of message unknown, contents of message unknown, contents of message unknown. All but one, it seems. Because the message that was sent to Maddie by Dylan in the morning, are you up or whatever, apparently was a Snapchat message. So, I mean, I honestly can only assume at this point that they only even have that because of Maddie's phone. Because it seems like everything in way of Dylan's for Snapchat, like they don't have the contents for some reason. And I know what Snapchat does, okay? But when you've got Snapchat information for everyone else but Dylan, that's weird. So then T-Mobile records associated with Dylan and Kaylee, tower dump records for Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile and Inland Cellular, Twitter accounts belonging to Bryan Kohberger, meaning more than one Twitter account. Okay. Uber records belonging to Eric Gower. Now, see, again, I don't really quite understand why we're doing this. Because it was a text message exchange. It wasn't Uber app. It wasn't the Lyft app. He literally turned it off so that he could do this under the table. I don't really know what those records are going to do. Unless they're just trying to see how many times like Kaylee drove with him maybe. But if this is stuff for trial, like I just don't understand the point if this was done off of the clock. You know what I mean? Like I feel like only his cell phone records would be needed for this. Getting the Uber records is kind of pointless. Verizon records associated with Ethan, Bethany, and Jack. Yahoo accounts belonging to Kaylee. Yik Yak accounts belonging to defendant, which I don't know why they didn't get like everyone else's Yik Yak account, because there was a Yik Yak account for the University of Idaho. People were talking on it, like discussing what was going on that day. So I wonder why they don't have any of that in here, but I guess maybe because it's not important. But we also know that like the majority of all this stuff, they ended up taking out at the end of the arguments in the first place. YouTube accounts belonging to defendant. Now, I will remind you guys about this one. So when it came to Celebrite, when we asked them very directly for the Google Drive of the information that they had, they sent it to us. And in one of the pictures they had was a screenshot that they took of the computer screen of, like, I guess it was supposed to be Kohberger's YouTube history. The problem that I have with that picture, and some of you guys already know this, at the very top, it shows that 5 different filters were applied. And if you look at the YouTube screen, it's like serial killer stuff about the Psycho, what is it? The Psycho movie with the Batman guy in it, whatever that dude's name is, Christian Bale, I guess. Don't quote me, I don't know. That guy, different music videos, stuff about different serial killers. I mean, stuff we look at. Okay, stuff that we look at is what he was looking at. But that's not everything he was looking at, because it had a filter. It had 5 different filters applied. So anything, like, he could have been watching cute cat videos, funny baby videos, stuff, who knows? But we're not seeing it all. They cherry picked by picking filters what they chose to present when it came to him. Why can't you show the whole thing? Is it because it's going to be a mixture of things and make him look normal, so you're choosing not to? 5 filters is a lot of filters. Like a date filter is just 1 filter. Why is there 4 more than needed? I really wish we knew what the filters were. They won't answer my questions, though. Thank you for the $9.99, Talio. Talio, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I like your little profile picture there. It reminds me of Goat Simulator game. Okay, then we have the phone number associated with Molly McMichaels. Then we have the computer tower seized from Kohberger's apartment. Let's see. A Samsung cell phone belonging to Kohberger. And then the SIM card for the cell phone. An Intel 512 gigabyte NVMe, whatever the frick this says. That's a really big name. Hold on. Type this in. I don't know what kind of brand this is. Drive. Well, it's a hard drive anywhere between, how much money does this thing cost? I'm clicking you. 512 gigabyte. Let me see. I know we've had like a lot of E-gates. And the one right now my son uses for his Xbox, I think it starts with a T. Okay, so about $120 hard drive. Newegg is usually where my son gets his stuff. Okay, and like people wanted to make a big deal about this. I don't see a problem with him having multiple devices like this. When I tell you I have computers and laptops hanging out in this house, in my closet, in the garage, all over the place, electronics that are just like there. Just there. On top of that, there was a lot of stuff that we came with, that we moved here with, and it was a bunch of computer parts and like older computers. We had hard drives and memory things, like all kinds of just random little techie stuff all over the place. So having like multiples of this stuff doesn't bother me. This is like pretty normal, especially having multiple cell phones throughout the house. There's several phones. My dad has like a bag of like 12 phones in my junk drawer right now that he wants me to help him get pictures off of, just from like the years. We have old phones hanging around, sitting in drawers like this. None of this seems like really normal. And again, I know that some people wanted to make a big deal about it, but to me, just having multiple devices, especially stuff that's just like sitting around like little pieces, and there was nothing on any of this. That's another thing that we need to be reminded of here. There was nothing found on the Barracuda, on the Intel hard drive, on the phones, on anything. Nothing. And you're not going to sit here and try to tell me that this student, this 20-something-year-old guy, suddenly was able to completely fool the FBI, Homeland Security, and everybody in freaking between using VPNs and Google Incognito. Like, that's not, no. They even said that like eraser program that Celebrite found, that they couldn't guarantee that it wasn't one of the investigators who actually ran that system. Celebrite said that. They couldn't guarantee that it wasn't one of the people after the fact that actually ran that program on there. So they have this whole spiel about there being some sort of like eraser system that came in to erase files. And then, oh, but you know, it might not have even been him that done it. My bad. So stupid. The whole thing is so stupid. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. The Samsung 256 gigabyte SSD model 850 Evo belonging to Kohberger, an Acer laptop belonging to Kohberger, a hard drive for that Lacer laptop belonging to Kohberger, and then the data acquisition from the Hyundai Elantra belonging to Kohberger. And again, all of these, and not a single connection to anything. All of these, and nothing was found in the search warrants. Nothing was found in the actual data that they collected. Nothing was found in anything that pointed where they want us to believe that it points. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. That's the craziest part. 32 months. Holy crap. Talk about being one of the OGs. 32 months is so long. That is such a long time. Okay. There's really not a lot here that we haven't already gone over, like I said at the beginning of this. I just find it interesting, again, that in January 2025, they are still submitting information to the court that has to do with Jack Takor and Jack Showalter if they don't have anything to do with anything. And everything that they needed for that, again, Corner Club video, seeing them leave with Jack Showalter, the surveillance video, seeing them walking. And it's not like they're saying that there's messages. They've never once, ever, in any of this, whether it was Jack Showalter's interviews or anything else, they've never, ever, ever said there was any communications between Jack Showalter and Maddie. There might have been phone calls, might have been text messages, there might have been some online stuff, I don't know. But they've never, ever actually came out and just straight up said it, that there was communications between them. So I just don't know, if they have nothing to do with anything, then why in big 2025 are you submitting their information to the court? You know? And it's also interesting, well, not really interesting. It was inevitable that we were going to get this document. In one of the other unsealed documents that we haven't gone over yet is when they're requesting the court to get Jack Takor's prints because they don't have the prints. You know, they asked them to get his prints in January. I'm pretty positive. Let me make sure I'm not running my mouth. And let me go back and check the ones that I have over here. Because that's crazy that if they asked in January, why did it take until June to get his prints? That's absolutely crazy. Let me make sure real quick, though. Court documents. Always click the right one. I don't want the empty one. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, right here. They asked for Jack's prints all the way in freaking January 2025. January 2nd. High quality photographs or scans of the latent prints of Jack Takor collected in the case. Scans should be made at a minimum resolution of 1000 ppi and saved on a non-proprietary, non-destructive format such as TIFF, no compression. Images should be individually scanned and not submitted on multi-page formats. The photographs or scans must include both sides of any lift cards. Scans of the backside of the lift card that only include text or diagrams may be done at lower resolutions and saved in any non proprietary formats such as JPEG or PDF. If the fingerprints were only photographed or scanned, as is the case for fingerprints developed with dye stains or chemical processes, then copies of the original digital image files should be submitted because they don't have nothing. Any enhanced images used for comparison should also be included. A scale should be included in each photograph or scan. Results of all testing and comparison conducted in this case with the latent prints of Jacques Tukur, and again, January 2nd, 2025. You know when they went and got those? I'll show you. I mean, I just said it, but I'll show you. I'll show you. Idaho State Police, forensics only, forensic reports. I'm pretty sure it's literally the very last one. Do we not have an unredacted version of this? Whatever. This one's Jack. This is when they did it. And notice his name is the name right here. This is one of the few that we still don't have an unredacted one yet. Which I don't really quite know why. Let's see. 44, 43, 36, 34, 31, 20, 17, 16, 13, 6, 4. We don't have unredacted ones yet. We still don't have any unredacted ones yet. Yeah, and we don't have number 42 right here either, unless I've done this one wrong. No, this one's 41, 41, 43. And then like these are the only ones we have over here, which these ones are strange again, guys, because for some reason, when Jeff Talbot wanted to run information for Jack Showalter and Connor Chestnut, he had it done on a completely different case number. And it's just weird. It's just weird. And I don't really quite understand why it was done like that with this 4870 number. It's not like they couldn't have corrected the case number. It's not like they couldn't have gone in there and made amendments to where it became part of the case like it was supposed to. They chose to just keep it this like separate thing that caused a bunch of confusion. And then it's not even just like there's some documents that say 4870, but then there's also some documents that have like it cross-referenced on top of the, like at the top of the report, it'll say 4383 and cross-reference 4870. Like, why couldn't they just gone in and fixed it? It's so stupid. So dumb. So dumb. Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Let me drop the link for tomorrow's live. Do I have the other one already? Hold on. We are going to go over, like I said, chapter 9, which is the police timeline for the broken plea book, so that we can get that one done. Here's this one right here. That is for tomorrow's live with the book. But tomorrow morning, we are going to go live and go over alien stuff on my second channel. So here's the link for that. I'm going to go live at 8:45 Texas time, so Central Standard Time, and we'll be live for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just going over the website that has the disclosure information. Because again, I haven't had time to sit down and really look through it, and I really have been wanting to look through it because that stuff's really interesting to me, and I've been interested in that stuff for my entire life practically. So we're definitely going to spend some time going through them. No, girl, because I never even finished reading the damn trash ass thing. No. That's why I said when we're done with this crap, I'm gonna give this one away, and then I'm gonna send Crazy that one at the same time, because Crazy Cutie was the winner for that one. But I also have to finish that one. Like, we stopped. I stopped. Y'all probably didn't. I stopped. When I tell you right now, that book is sitting right there. You see the lemon candle and you see the blue thing? Right there in the middle. Boop, is that book. It's sitting on top of the cover for this one, because I don't want the cover on it until I send it off. I still have not finished reading that book. I don't want to finish this trash. Because once I don't trust you, I don't want to keep spending my time with you, you know? So James Patterson book proved to be straight up trash. Those poor trees. This one, the best information we got from this one was the hair in Ethan's hand. I think that's the only thing that comes to my mind that has stuck with me. Yeah, we've gotten some unredacted names of people that have nothing to do with anything. Yeah, we might have gotten a couple little tidbits, but they've come out here and said a lot of just off the wall, non-factual nonsense. And this writer literally just did this for a quick paycheck. There's so many problems in this. So many things that there was receipts for that he didn't need Turvey for, or Holland or anyone else. Everything was out there in the public. And he got the simplest shit wrong so many times. It makes us look like a joke, taking shit like this book right here seriously. That's why I'm FOIAing everything I possibly can. That's why I'm trying to get information from the official sources. I'm literally doing what he told us to do. Am I not? Doing exactly what he said to do. And so far, there's not really been too many things. The most recent had to be, I guess, the emails between Talbot and Riley Nowlin, but we still don't have answers for that either. Because in the same email where she's claiming everything was swabbed excluding the metal button, the very next response, she's saying, oh, this portion of the button was swabbed, but not this portion of the button. But we have no tracking for a button swab. It's all just been this, court documents, but no forensics. The forensics don't say anything. I need clarification. I'm still waiting on email responses. It's just like, you know how the 1.1 has resubmission next to it for 1118, and we're waiting for MPD to give us some information on that. When I asked Idaho about it, Matthew Gammett came back and said that all that information was already public. And he gave me page numbers that literally only reference the stuff that came in on 1116. So my response was, I think there was a misunderstanding. You see, page 99 that you're giving me is for this submission, for when the sheath got there on the 16th, for that information. And then he gives me another page number. And I say, you see how this page number, the chain of custody for this swab starts on the 17th of November? Well, that's impossible for what I'm asking you for, because the resubmission is dated 11/18, which is the day after this. So how can the chain of custody for you having this very specific thing start on the 17th when y'all didn't receive it until the 18th? So we'll see what they say, because they keep just trying to act like we're not seeing certain things. And if we're mistaken, if I'm mistaken on this one thing being resubmitted, and it is the most important piece of evidence that they have, literally, it is the 1.1 swab. It is the literal swab that we have 1,000 questions about, that we have no concrete information for, whether it was a button or not a damn button, because you can't even answer the same damn thing in the same 5-minute conversation. So important. Answer the question. Where's the paper trail? Show me your information in that lab for this button swab, because she's claiming, Rylene is claiming, she's getting this information from the analyst note that we have public and the photos that we have with the color outlines. Well, show me where in this analysis it mentions a swab on the button. It doesn't. So why are you mentioning it and saying that the swab went inside the socket? You don't have anything to prove that. But you're claiming your information is coming from the analyst notes. I don't understand I don't understand. And again, you guys know it's every entity. It's ISP's police side. It's ISP's forensic side. It's Moscow Police Department. Every department at Moscow Police Department. The cops who don't check their notes or their body cams before they write up their damn reports for search warrants or to be turned in for anything else important. The FOIA department people and the evidence collection people who don't know how to organize anything. The last and most expensive part of the FOIA who can't even figure out or even answer protocol questions about what happens. Everything, every department, tainted. Spoiled, tainted, useless. FBI included. If not the worst. Because we know their track record. I hate this case. I hate this case. I hate this case. I hate this case. Okay. Now I'm going to get off of here. I will see you guys in the morning to go over alien stuff. I mean, we know most of it's true already. I'm just curious as to what they're actually showing us. Thank you again so much, Miller Time, for the gifted memberships. That's crazy. Crazy. 100 gifted memberships is so crazy. Thank you for being here again, everyone. Thank you for the super stickers and the super chats, spending time with me in here and going over all this crazy boo-boo bullshit information. It is so stressful. But again, I hope one day we get to a point where something releases and finally we'll have an answer to something and we're not left with more questions after we look at the information. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that comes soon. And that starts the domino effect of actually getting some answers and not feeling so discombobulated after finally getting some information. There's no reason why a year after the plea, everything is still so convoluted. It's not fair to the victims. It's not fair, even though the Goncalveses suck, it's not fair to them either. Like, this is dumb. This is so stupid. So stupid. All right, you guys. You guys have a super, super great night. Have a super, super great night. Get some good sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow to talk about the aliens. But for now, see y'all. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives.